But yeah, thank you everybody for joining our Sunday workouts. We have James Willstrop today, and as I was mentioning, you know, we're all very lucky to be involved in this game that we all love. And one of the things that Illinois Squash is doing this summer for the first time is we have some interns. So Kaylin Jones is one of our first interns. We have 3 interns, so every Sunday we'll have one of our interns introducing our pros. So I'll turn it over to you, Kaylin, to introduce James, and then we can get started. Let us know if you can hear us, Kaylin.
But as
I feel like some of us are joining from outside.
This is James, the marksman, Willstrop. He came in a little bit about his background and how we got into squash. So we can get the workout started whenever you're ready.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll turn it over to you, James. Yeah, thank you everyone for joining.
Great. All right, I'll just I'll get straight into this. I've just written a few little notes that I'll just go over for the first few minutes just to get us going. And I don't really, once we start going, I'll try not to stop. I'm just going to get it going, because you're not here to talk, and we haven't got enough time to go into loads of in-depth analysis of anything like that. So let's just get on with the workout, and hopefully I'm happy to stick around afterwards if you've got any questions for me or any sort of more theoretical things that you'd like to talk about, or if you want me to explain more about the exercises and why I would do them, then I'm happy to do that. Just remember before we get going, every exercise, you know, I'm going to give you, or what I'm going to do today, is designed for me to be a good squash player, but just try and be careful with it. I can't examine every technique. I can't sort of watch the technique of all of you. Some of these exercises, if they are done incorrectly, you can get it wrong and you can start giving yourself imbalances. So I've tried to have a nice variety of exercises and stuff that applies to squash, but please be careful. We can't monitor techniques and things, and if you're doing them slightly incorrectly. So if you're feeling anything, please back off. You don't have to kill yourself on this stuff. It's difficult as well, because I'm sure we've got quite a lot of levels. I'm probably not even qualified to, there's a lot of people throwing these workouts around on Zoom at the minute, and quite rightly, everyone wants a new workout and to do different things. So just be careful is all I would say. Is, I can't be there for you, but just listen to your body. If something's a bit painful, back off. If I'm giving you too long a duration to do an exercise, just shorten the duration. If I'm asking you to do an exercise and it's too hard, just change it and do something else. Just try and think quite smartly about your level and about what you want to get out of it. I mean, these are my sort of recommendations as a squash player. It's all designed for squash. Every exercise I've tried to think on 2 levels, that it applies to squash, that it's specific to squash. And I've hopefully tried to think in terms of slightly more variety, because there are so many workouts out there. There's only sort of so many ways you can do a squat, but I'm trying to just give you as much sort of variation. So hopefully we'll get there today. And hopefully it'll be a bit of fun as well, because exercise hopefully is about fun. My sort of just 1 or 2 little thoughts on training and training for squash. I've just put down sort of training smart. Just try and think, as if you are all squash players, some of you might not be, but I think you probably all are. Train smart and apply it to squash. Just try and get thinking along those lines of, what is this exercise doing? Is it really going to help my squash? And do I really want it to help my squash, or am I just doing it for the sake of it? If you just want to do it for the sake of it, all well and good, go for it. But if you really want to improve your squash, start thinking about why you're doing a certain exercise. If you're going to go and do ghosting, how am I going to do the ghosting? Anyone can ghost, and loads of people do it so badly. So try and think, how can I ghost well? How can I lunge well? How can I do these workouts well that are going to help me to play squash better? Make every exercise count if you can. Ask yourself why you're doing it. And also don't think that every training session and every exercise you do has to beast yourself and get to the bottom of you and kill you. That's not always what training is about. And that's what a lot of the professionals in the world have learned recently in the last 20 years or so. Train cleverly. You don't always have to train to kill yourself. You can do lots of really good work at moderate intensities, even low intensities. And that sometimes can be the cleverest work you do. You know, lots of people can go and mindlessly run 2 million court sprints. We can all do that. It's very simple. But if you train cleverly and do the right exercises that are good for squash, that's a clever and smart way to train. And that's what a lot of the professionals will do at the top of the game. Well, they all will have to do that. So today I've tried to really make it as various as I can for you, because I don't know whether you're getting bored of Zoom workouts, but you need as much variation as you can. I'm clear on that, you know, so let's try and give you some variation. You know, some people want to do, you know, 45 on, 20 off, and there will be a little bit of that, but sometimes it's good to mix. So I'd encourage you to think about, if you like interval training, you know, don't always make it the same interval. You know, if you love doing 30 on, 30 off, that's fine. There's a place for it, but make sure, you know, try and mix up your intensities. Maybe do a 15-minute set or a minute and a half set, and then you might follow that by a 10-second set with a lot more rest. Switch those intensities up, because again, that applies to squash. You know, one rally might be really hard and long, the next rally might be really short and explosive, and that's exactly what squash is. So we'll keep mixing the work. What else have I got to say? We've got all different levels. Sometimes I like to work with sort of groups of exercises. So we could work on, for a few, you know, for a sort of set, we might work on legs only or core only. That's valid. Also, it's good to mix. Again, there'll be a mix of that happening today, hopefully. Exercise doing lots of reasons for that. Right, good. I think we're all good. Mentality to training. Yeah, one last point about mentality to training, and something that, again, it just applies to applying it to your squash. If you can, you know, if one thing I could give you today just to train a little bit more effectively, you can, again, anyone can train well and quite hard and get a really good workout and have a good sweat. But if you want to be good squash players, if you want to improve your squash, try even thinking about how you can apply training sessions like today to being onto what you're doing on the squash court. Just as a very quick example, if you're doing a set of lunges, or even let's apply it to ghosting. Ghosting is quite a good thing, because loads of people do ghosting very aimlessly and badly. But if you're thinking about your ghosting, why not imagine that you're playing the game? Why not use that psychologically to think, right, what's the rally? What's the shape of the rally? How am I going to play the next shot? Instead of just doing aimless lunges and looking at the clock all the time and thinking, let's get this over with, let's put yourself in a match. Visualize it. Use mental imagery. And that's just one other thing that I thought, hopefully, from a squash professional's point of view, is a nice thing just to be aware of, and that can take your training up a few notches if you really want to train well and this to affect you on the squash court. So, you know, think about that today, and I'll try and mention it a couple of times to just try and get a little bit mentally aware. So, right, I'll get going. If anyone has a problem with my screen, please just let me know. I think I've lined it up so that you can see me doing the exercises. If there's a problem, just tell me. So, am I okay? I'm not on mute then. Does anyone else need to be on mute, or sound is good?
Sound is good, and you can always ask people to give you the thumbs up. That way they can give you quick feedback.
Perfect. So it might be nice if you have a mat, if you want it, or a towel. Other than that, you don't need one. You'll be able to do it completely without that, but you might just like a bit of if you've got a really hard floor, you might want one. Other than that, the exercises today will be totally without equipment. The more I've carried on in my professional career, the more I'm convinced that it's not massively necessary for people to have loads of unbelievable state-of-the-art equipment. I think you can train really, really well for squash just in a very limited amount of space with no equipment, actually. So today is absolutely no equipment, and I'm sure we'll hopefully put a really good workout which is going to be good for squash together. So first set is going to be very mixed. It's part of the warm-up is kind of integrated, because we're going to start off quite steadily. So don't worry about what this is, kind of a warm-up, but it's good exercises as well. So I'm going to get straight into it now, and I'm not really going to talk very much more. If anyone's got any burning questions, I mean, I'll keep talking obviously, but we're just going to exercise now. But if anyone's got any big burning questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll shut up. Okay, so first one we're going to go for, I'm going to set the clock. These will be fairly long intervals, but I'm going to decide them. So I'm not just going to do 45 on to 20 off. It's going to be, I'll tell you what the intervals are. First one, press up shoulder touches. Okay, so we're going to get on the floor. You can't see me there.
When you're on the floor, it's a little hard to see.
Yeah, hang on. How's this looking? Tell you what. Can you see the floor now?
That looks better, yeah. We're getting thumbs up from people. We see the floor.
Okay. It should be okay. So you're in a press up position, legs a little bit further apart. I'll come back a bit. Okay. Legs a bit further apart. And we're just going to touch our shoulders. Okay. Keeping the core really steady. Touching the shoulders. How are we looking on the screen? Can you see me?
Looking good.
Good. Okay. So keep going with this. You're touching your shoulders, holding the core in, legs quite wide apart. Try to keep that core really still and stable. Okay, stop there. Rest, well done. We're going to move on pretty quickly. We're going to move back. We're just going to do, okay, nice big step ups. Opposite hand high. Step ups high. Opposite hand. Really keep the balance here. Really stretch up and get the posture. So don't, again, really apply yourself to this exercise. Hold the core in. Bring the knees up. Get the knees mobile. Get the hips mobile. Keep it a strong movement. Okay, quite long sets these. Fairly long sets. Keep the balance on this balancing leg. Okay, really hold that balance. Last few seconds. And stop there. Okay. Next one, quite random on this one, but it's very squash specific. We're in a sort of legs apart position, and I'm just going to start easing into some lunges. Okay, side to side, into some lunges. Start off with a slow and steady. If you want to get a bit faster, and as you get a bit more mobile, you can start going deeper and faster if you want. Don't say that too often. Also, you can start moving your arms into the air, stretching the hip flexors a little. Start moving them out. Okay, we'll do 10 more seconds. Really good squash specific exercise. Don't go too heavy on it initially. Last one. Okay, 15 seconds rest. Okay, just watch carefully on this one. We're going to go down to the left and up to the right. Down to the left, up to the right. Really bringing the rotation in now. Imagine you've got a medicine ball. If you want to pick something up and use a ball or a weight, you can. I don't think you need to if you don't want to. If you're just getting the rotation going, squash specific movement. If you've been doing one side, now change sides. If you've been changing sides, just keep going. Just switch sides. Really get the rotation going. Get the back posture working. And stop there. Just keep remembering that if these are too difficult or you need to back off, just back off. Okay, watch carefully now. We're going to do a little downward dog pattern. I'll try and explain this well. So you're in a plank position, into a downward dog. So bum up in the air, heel stretch, back to plank, all the way down, back arch, up to plank, heel stretch, back to plank, all the way down, back arch, back to plank, heel stretch, downward dog, back to plank. Go a little bit faster, all the way down, back arch, back to plank, heel stretch, back to plank, all the way down, back arch, back to plank, heel stretch, back to plank, all the way down, back arch. Okay, stop there. Good work for the shoulders. Next one, watching carefully. I'll just demonstrate this because it's hard to give it a name or anything. Great for mobility, great for the hips. When you're turning, you can turn either in or out. So you can turn in or out. Okay, it just gives it a slightly different emphasis. Okay, and then another 30 seconds or so. This is not meant to be hard, this is meant to be really good for mobility. So don't worry about this being hard or easy. The important thing is that you're doing the exercise well, getting a stretch into your legs and hips, and also getting your shoulders really stable and strong. Okay, last 5 seconds. Okay. We've got, for this time, we're going into a lunge hold. Okay, so all we're doing is into the lunge, as deep as you want to be, and then we're going to hold it. With that, this is an opportunity now where you can start to use this position to start imagining your squash scenarios. So bring the mental visualization into it. Imagine the shot. Think about how you want to hit the ball. Even practice your swing a little bit if you want. But don't just sit there, you know, all the time and just think, well, I'll sort of coast through it. You can use the exercises to bring the squash to life a little bit. If you want to start moving your hands in the air, it might be starting to hurt and burn by now, and if it does, then switch sides. So that's about 30 seconds each side. Obviously, just work on your own ability. If that's too much, back off. If you want to do more, do more. Think about your drop shot maybe. Think about being strong at 5-all and 5th. Think about your opponent. How is he playing? You can sort of do these nice little mental imagery exercises as you're training sometimes. That opportunity is there. Last 5 seconds, if you can hold it. Hopefully starting to get warm. Okay, and back and ease off. 10 seconds rest. Okay, so imagine, I quite like boxing. Quite like boxing for squash. I think there's some good boxing work going on that can be very helpful. So my technique's terrible at this, but instead of just a squat, we're sort of gonna go into a sort of boxing position. So it becomes a sort of one leg thing. So it's not just a simple squat necessarily, it's just slightly different. So we'll do about 30 seconds. About 20 to go. Okay, all done. 20 seconds rest. So you see how the rests and the intervals are mixed up quite a lot here. Okay, simple. If you've got a jump rope, use it. I haven't got one, and you don't need one. We're going to use the calves to do some jumps, okay? Very simple. Using the calves, but really use the calves to push off. As if you're on the tee, you want that explosive action from the calves. About 40 seconds. Just 2 legs a minute. Keep strong through the lower leg. Strong through the lower leg. About 10 seconds left. Okay, and stop. Well done. I think you're doing well there, but I'm sort of doing it all myself, so I can't see as well. But okay, we're going to use the calves again a little bit now. Just another 10 seconds rest. This is a full body exercise. We're going to do the squat. We're going to bend down into a squat. Okay, touch the floor, right hand, and then we're going to reach up. But as we're reaching up, we go from the calves as well, not just the legs. So right down, back up. Okay, we'll do about 20-25 seconds each side. No, we won't, because it's the same side. We'll do about 35 seconds. Okay, ready? Off we go. Squat down into a calf raise. Change hands both times. So use your lower legs and your thighs, not just your quads. Use your calves as well. Should be really hopefully now getting really mobile and warm with it. About 10 more seconds of this if you can handle that. Doing well, keep going. Keep going. And stop. Okay, couple of shoulder exercises now. 10 seconds. 10 seconds more rest. All we're going to do is very, very simple. We're going to get nice posture. And you're going to put shoulders into a V position and just hold that. This is a really simple exercise, but by the end of the 30 seconds or so, you'll probably find you're burning a little bit in your arms and shoulders. So really try to activate into your shoulder blades. Really use your shoulder blades to hold your arms up into the air straight. Use your core as well to keep strong in your core. Don't just let everything go down below. Really put the whole body into it. Okay, we're going for about another 15 seconds if we can handle that. Draw back into your shoulders, draw back. Don't let the shoulders come forward. Draw back, work your shoulders. 10 seconds, 5 seconds. Okay, and if we can, we're going to go straight into some arm circles. Okay, so we're just going to circle the arms out straight. Not for long. Just a quick sets of these because you start to burn quite badly. Again, Keep drawing in your shoulder blades. Keep using your shoulder blades to make these movements. Okay, and then switch direction of the swings. Keep drawing in from the shoulder blades. Keep using the shoulder blades. Last 3, 2, 1, and stop. Okay. By that point, you're probably feeling a little bit of a burn. This means that your shoulders are working. 10 seconds, we're going to do some one-leg hops. Okay? And we're going to go side to side. Okay? So we're going to go sideways, 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 sideways. Not too fast. Not too fast. Just make it real quality. Off we go. Okay? Really use those muscles. One leg stuff is really good. Really hold the position. Keep strong in your ankles and your calves. And change legs. Five seconds. And stop. Okay. Right, so that's a pretty good session. A pretty good start to the session. That's the first sort of phase. Just notice how I went straight in, but it was like I didn't go and jog for 20 minutes. That wasn't my warm-up. My warm-up was part of the session. In other words, every exercise that I'm doing in the warm-up is important. It's not just shaking yourself about and going on the bike for 20 minutes. It's every exercise is helping the hips get mobile, helping the body to get moving, working. Every muscle that we use in squash, we have just activated. We've just worked it. If you go and sit on a bike for 20 minutes, it's good, but you're not going to get the activation, the muscle memory stuff going on that you would doing proper stuff like that. So that's really good work, that. It was kind of a warm-up, but it was really part of the session. All right, is everyone okay? Does anyone need any questions, or what is this absolute English clown doing to us? What a load of rubbish.
Thumbs ups.
Okay, we're going to go into a next section now. So we have a nice little break. Give yourself rests. Work. Let me remind you to work at your own capabilities. If what I'm giving you is too much, back off. There's so many different levels here. This is the stuff that I do as a professional athlete. So take the times down if you need to, have more rests, but it's really important that you don't overdo these exercises. Just do them well for your limits, and that is going to benefit you. If you overdo them too quickly, that's possible injury territory. So if you're in any doubt, just do them as well as you can, and then back off, and then start again, have a rest. Okay, so the next little section, we're going to alternate a leg movement with a core movement, okay? And we're going to go 45 seconds on, 15 off, and we're going to stick to that now. So these are long intervals with short rest, not much rest. I'm not a big fan of rests, because why should I be? You know, squash, you don't get any. So 45 on, 15 off, 8 exercises, 1 leg, 1 core. Okay, straight in. Okay. Squats. Off we go. Squats. One arm up, other arm up. You're holding the squat. Holding the squat. One arm up, other arm up. Really work from the legs. Try and get your back, your thoracic spine moving up, but really keep working from the legs. "25 seconds gone. Doing well, looking good. Stop if you need to. This is not an easy exercise. Keep going for as long as you think is right. Hold that squat if you can. Keep the legs strong. Last 5 seconds, legs strong. all the muscles in the legs working, and stop. 15 seconds rest. If you have your towel or mat, I think that will be helpful. We're going to do just this very simple plank. Simple plank. Okay, onto your elbows and into a plank. Back straight, work from the core. I'll move back a little bit. Simple plank. Keep going, keep going, keep going. I'm just going to have a little look. Keep that body as level as possible. Looks good. Looks good, the ones that I can see. Keep going. Keep going. If you need to stop and it's too much, just stop. 5 seconds left if you can. Just work to your capabilities. Looking good, and stop there. Well done, everyone. Just do your best. Work to your capabilities. This time, this is about as hard an exercise as we'll do today. Just do your best with it. We're into a squat, holding the squat. One leg up, back, one leg back. I'll show you. Okay, off you go. So you're going onto one leg into your squat. So you're sort of moving your leg back. You can actually touch the leg on the floor if you feel that's easier. Just touch your toe onto the floor. That should be a bit easier. But effectively, it's just making it a single leg squat. This is very, very tough. You've got to really be strong in one leg here. So do your best. If it's too hard, just do the squat. If it's too hard, just back up. And stop. Well done. That's a tough exercise. God, that is a tough one. Just watch the plank one now. Knee to elbow. Off you go. Knee to elbow, plank. Do it front on. Knee to elbow. Keep your body strong through your core. "15 seconds to go. Five seconds. 5 seconds if you can. And stop. Next one. Next one is called duck walks, or I call them duck walks, into the squat. Then you can go backwards. Off you go. Go to the side if you've got space. Straight. Straight and backwards. Backwards tends to be really tough for some reason. 10 seconds to go. And stop. Okay, body weight alertness. If you've got a mat, that might be helpful. Arms high. You lift your back on your back. Legs in. Off you go.
Can't see. What is this?
Okay, let's change it. Let's change it. Sorry, you can't see me. Let's change it to do a. Let's do a plank with a rotation. So we'll do a similar one, but it's press up to shoulder rotation. Okay. All right, off we go. Around about 10 seconds left. Well done. And stop there. Okay, 2 more exercises. One is the sideways lunges that we were doing before. So the sideways lunges, but we're going to try and quicken them up a little bit if we can. So we're in this position, lunge, lunge, use your racket. Think about the squash element. This is very specific. Okay, off we go. Do as many as is possible in that time, but don't overdo it. Just stop if you need to. Change your arms around if you want. Put your arms in the air, or just leave them down by your side. It's up to you. It's very tough on the legs now. Last 5 seconds. Last 5 seconds. And stop there. Okay, just watch me on this last one. I'm not going to explain it because it's too hard to explain. So just watch it. I'm in a plank. I'm going to move across. And I'm going to touch, 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 touch. Go to the other side. Plank. And then back round. Touch, 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 touch. Back into a plank, back round, touch, and just keep repeating both sides. Okay? 5 seconds.
Is your butt on the ground when you're on your back?
No. No. Not at all. I'll keep doing it if you want to watch. So plank, twist round, back to a reverse plank, touch, 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 then the other way, and back round, touch. Doesn't matter which way you go, really. Okay, stop there. Stop there. Okay, have a rest. Have a rest. Sorry about that last one. That was hideous. Problem is, you start inventing exercises yourself when you've been in lockdown for 8 weeks. That was my invention. That I'll have to patent it or something.
You'll have to give it a name.
Yeah, I quite like it though, because it's a lot of people do a lot of plank stuff, but that's quite nice to get the shoulders involved in a different way, and it's just different, isn't it?
It's a dead
Really
turtle,
strange.
I call it. Dead turtle.
Dead turtle, yeah. Okay, nice, nice. A couple of minutes then.
James, do you have a squash court at home?
No. No.
Oh,
You? Who does? Someone does, don't they?
I'm thinking about it.
No. How's everyone going? Looks to be doing really well. I hope this is okay for you. You know, as I said, please, you know, I'll sometimes follow a workout with someone online, and there are so many out there, you know, and sometimes I'll end up adapting it a little bit. Please do. If you feel like another exercise is better, that's absolutely great. You know, work to, you know, I'm hopefully just giving you a couple of new ideas, but other than that, just train within your capabilities. And if you need to change things or rest for more or whatever, just do what you need to do. Okay, we're going to go into another little section now of another combination. That's another quite a nice way to work. So there we've done legs and core work together. This one we're going to do a little bit more legs, but a little bit more active, and a sort of core and shoulder thing that we're going to do. So There are two things. One is hopping and holding, and the other one is Spider-Man movements, okay? The Spider-Man one is really about you just letting you just be creative with the movement. So, and I literally just say, be Spider-Man, you know, arms up, knees into, you know, into hips, rotations, climbing up walls, moving backwards, moving forwards. You'll see when I do it, but there's no prescribed way that I do this. You know, just move. If you've got space, even better. Just move around the room and, you know, sort of Spider-Man your way around the room. What I feel it does is it's great for shoulder work, shoulder stability. It's great for core, and it's fantastic for mobility in my hips. And it's actually really hard as well. You know, it'll really get you breathing. So again, be careful with this, because sometimes people can start breathing really hard and they think that's great, but they're actually losing control in their body. So once your body starts to break down, and if the muscles can't do the movements anymore, just stop again. Just don't overdo these movements, because they're very intense. The hopping, I'll just show you what we do with the hopping. So again, we're going to go with the 45 seconds because it's quite a nice number. It gives you a bit of time. You're not rushed. And it's just the two, sort of three exercises, one hop on each leg and one Spider-Man movement. So I'll start the clock in a second or so. Basically, the hopping is all you're doing is you're hopping, holding, hopping, holding, hopping, holding. Then if you've got a ball or a mark on the floor, just bend down and try to pick up that squash ball or just that tiny thing. And then we're going to hop backwards, hop backwards, hop backwards. And we're constantly trying to balance on one leg in that deceleration movement. And then we're going to place the ball back down. If you don't have a ball, you can just touch. But I find it's quite a nice thing to do the touching bit because it gives you something to aim for. Okay, so we do a hop on the right leg, 45 seconds. Hop on the left leg and a Spider-Man. And we're going to repeat that 3 times, okay? Here we go. So when you're doing the hop, this is all about controlling the movement of the landing. So control as well as you can. Once your body is breaking or once your glutes and your leg muscles can't take it anymore, just leave it. But just try and do the exercise well. Don't be falling all over the place if you can help it. Okay, here we go. Right, here's the first one, hopping, okay? Right leg hop and balance. Right leg hop and balance. Try and do 3 if you've got enough space, and then down to touch the floor, and then 3 backwards hops. Or maybe 4 backwards hops. Up to you. Hop and hold, hop and hold, hop and hold, touch the floor. Back for 3, back for 3, back for 3. Okay, 10 seconds. Really do the exercise as well. You should be feeling the legs working, hopefully. You've got to keep that balance. 3 seconds left. And stop. Same thing on the left leg. 15 seconds rest. Left leg hop and hold. Okay, off we go. 1 hop, 2 hops, 3 hops. Hold it steady, balance on one leg. Reach down for the squash ball if you've got it. Back, hop for 3, 2, 3. Hop. Do it at your own pace. Try to get that end bit as well as you can, touching the ball onto the floor. Hop and hold, balance. Hop and hold, balance. Hop and hold. And stop. Okay, Spider-Man. Spider-Man or Spider-Woman. Okay. You're watching me carefully. Okay. This is the sort of thing I'm trying to do. Move around the room. Okay, off you go. Go backwards, go forwards. rotations, backwards, forwards. Use your arms, use your legs. Okay, stop there. Time absolutely flies, doesn't it?
Whew. Is there a pro with the nickname Spider-Man?
No. Question? No, I don't think so.
Not yet. Hasn't been taken.
Okay. Go with the hops. Back on the original leg. Hop and touch. Really balance. Hop and hold. And stop there, well done. Okay, we're going on the left leg in 5 seconds. Not much rest going on here, is there? Okay, here we go. Really hold that position. Really strong in your legs. Use your legs to hold the position. Just building your leg strength up, ability to balance. Doing well. Last few. And stop there. Well done. Okay, we're going to go with the Spider-Man once more. We'll do 2 times through, not 3. Okay, here we go with the Spider-Man. Off we go. So really crawl up, really use that hip mobility. If you've got space, use it. Put some rotations in there. And stop there. Stop there. Okay, minutes rest or so. I was going to do another set of those, but I think that might be enough. I realised that the hopping is quite heavy duty, and that can be quite damaging. So, you know, just one thing I would say about the hopping, I think it's something I did. I don't know whether Damon's done a workout with you guys, but it's something I've done a lot with Damon Lee-Dale Brown, who I work with a lot with strength and conditioning, and it's all about sort of, it's okay doing a squat and doing a squat hold, but in squash you have to move so fast, and then you have to stop that speed, and you have to be really strong with the speed. So the hopping is great because you hop and you've got to hold the leg in position. You can't sink, you have to be really strong throughout the calves. Every muscle in the leg has to work to balance. And I think if you do those hopping exercises, you can feel it sort of doing the burn, can't you? But I really like those ways of working because it's controlled, but it's using that element of deceleration and landing, which you need, and which if you're just doing squats all day, the squats don't really give you that. You need that sort of to push off from the landing and hold the landing. So again, with the hopping, if you're going to do that again, try and make sure you're doing it well and right, getting the knee and the leg landing, and not the knee not sloping in and that sort of thing. They're quite tough exercises to get right, but they're so good. They're so effective for squash, in my opinion. Right, we'll go into, so we've done 2 little sets there that are a bit more in a pattern. And the last section, we're just going to go a bit free for all. And I like working like this, really, because I don't want to come in and have to do the same 45 seconds on, 10 seconds off. You know, I want it, you know, it's nice for someone who's training every day to keep mixing it up. So I've tried to throw in the last bit, just tried to throw in lots of different exercises. I'm going to look like an idiot when we do the boxing, but that's fine. But just, you know, try and enjoy the exercises. I'll mix the intervals up as much as I think, and I'll tell you to stop, so you don't really know whether you're doing 30 seconds or 20 seconds or whatever. Okay, so last little section, and we'll just go straight through with it. So the first one is boxing. So do it as you want. I mean, stay still if you want. You know, stuff like this is great because it's working or, you know, if you want to get more into it and start having a battle with someone, then that's fine as well, you know, because it's a fantastic exercise, great for the core, good for your cardiovascular. So here we go. We'll start going in right now. Off we go. So boxing, just enjoy it. Okay, try and use different rotations, different punches. Just stand still if you want. Up to you. Move around the room. Stop there. So it's definitely not going on YouTube now after that. Imagine what World Boxing Federation would say to that.
I'll have to have made it through 45-minute workout to get there.
Okay, second one, quad mobility. So we're standing nice and tall, left arm high, right leg pulled into your heel into your backside. Quad stretch, but it's not just a stretch. This is, you're working your balance, you're working your posture. You've got to keep your core a little bit working. So it's a nice exercise. We'll do another 15 seconds of this. Work hard to stay balanced. Work hard to stay balanced. Balancing on one leg is always a tough thing to do. It's really good. 3 seconds. And stop. Sumo squat. So instead of just a squat, we're opening the legs wider and the toes are pointing out to the side. Okay, not just in like this, they're pointing out. Keep your legs going over your foot. Don't let your knees come in. All right, here we go, nice and slow. Not too strong on this, not too heavy with the movements. Keep the strength. This is a really, really difficult exercise. It might be a bit too much for some people, so don't do it. If it's hurting, change to another exercise. If you want to hold for a few seconds while you're down there, that's good. And then bring it back up. Hold for a few seconds. Don't go too fast on this. It's meant to be done properly and slowly. Really should be feeling the adductors coming into this now. The inside of the leg, which are really important in squash. One more if we can make it. Doing well, that's good. We're in the last stretch of exercises now. Number 3. Number 4, slow motion mountain climbers. So we're not going really heavy with it. We're just going quite slowly. So really bring the knees in slowly and hold back. In and hold, in and hold. Okay, so not too fast. Off we go. Let's go for about 40 seconds if we can. Nice slow movements. Knee to elbow. Knee to elbow. Ten seconds, come on, keep going. And stop. Well done. I know the time's getting on a bit, and I'm gonna end up going over. So if people need to jump out, that's fine. I'll only be offended slightly, but I realise that I'm going to go over time. So stay. You're more than welcome to stay, and we'll carry on. But if you have to go, then that's fine. Obviously. Number 5. We did the jump rope the other day. We're going to the other section. We're going to do it side to side now. Okay. Okay. So just like jump rope, but we're going to go side to side. Okay. Off we go. Go for about 30 seconds. Maybe 35. Really push from your calves. Make your calves work. Ooh. Keep strong, keep strong. And stop. Okay, nice steady one, just 15 or 20 seconds or so. Couple of little runs, hamstring stretch. Couple of little runs, hamstring stretch. Couple of runs, hamstring stretch. Not holding it for too long, just keeping going. And stop there. Hamstring. Number 7, press ups with push ups. Sorry, you call them push ups, don't you? With knees on the floor. Okay, so really working the shoulders. Knees down. Really concentrate the shoulders. Do it slowly. Don't do it like 100 miles an hour. Really concentrate on your shoulders working. Off we go. 30 seconds or so. Really work your shoulders. Change the position of your arms about if you want. Change the position of your arms. Different positions. Move your arms around. And stop. Okay, slightly different one on the side lunges now, very squash specific here. Great one for squash. We're going into a squat. Going into a squat, and I'm going to go quickly into a side lunge, quickly into a side lunge, back to the squat. Okay? So squat down, and then you're into your side lunges. Ready? And off we go. So squat, quick side lunge, back to squat. Quick side lunge, back to squat. Go for a good one on this if we can. Use your arms to hit the ball. Five seconds. Okay, well done. Well done. I'm going to go a little bit easier. So 10 seconds. We're going to go in an easier exercise into an arabesque. Okay, so we're staying on the one leg. You can touch the floor if you want, or just come up to standing. You're on one leg. Hamstring stretch. Again, it's really good balancing work. And change legs. Last year, this is a great one. Easy. Last one. Okay, stop there. This one comes from the 1980s. Quite an old-fashioned aerobic sort of exercise. Standing face on. Just going to punch, punch, punch. Use the rotation. Get low on your feet if you want to. Okay, we really get rotating. Here we go. Okay, about 30 seconds, 35 seconds maybe. Go up high if you want. Do it as well as you can. And so, it's like aerobics classes that they used to do in England. I don't know whether they ever happened in the US, but they used to do aerobics here. They don't really do it as much now, but that was straight out of that textbook. Okay, 10 seconds, and then we're going into a squat hold. Got about 5 more exercises if everyone's keen. Drop out when you need. Squat hold. Let's try for a minute, but that's going to be very, very tough for some people. So do what you can. Off we go. Squat hold. Hold that position. Some of us can try for a minute if we want. I would suggest that a lot of people think about that and maybe amend it and go less. Do what you think is helpful. If it's 15 seconds and you feel that that's enough, just leave it at 15 seconds. Do whatever you're capable of. Okay, we've got 30 seconds gone. Time goes slow, doesn't it? 10 seconds left. You can do it. Stop when you've had enough. 5 seconds. And stop.
Felt like a long minute.
That was long. That was long. It's very hard. If you're doing that, you're in good shape. I tell you that. That is tough. Okay, slightly easier one then, but very good for mobility. You're balancing on one leg again. So balance, standing tall, bringing your hip in, let it come out. This is a mobility exercise rather than a tough exercise, but you've got to do it properly. You've got to hold all your muscles tight in your legs. You've got to balance, and you've got to really let that hip stretch out. It's a great stretch. Hold it in if you want for a few seconds. Keep the body tall. Don't let the body come over. Good posture. Great hip stretch. Don't let it go out too far. Just let it go to where you can do it to. Okay, that'll do for that one. 13. Okay, we're going to do. No, we're not. 14. Where are you? 14. Right, we're going to do one more press up into rotation. Okay. So, but this time you can really turn on it if you want to go. If you want to really turn out. Okay, you can almost go into the side plank. Off we go. Okay, switch sides. Well done. Last one. Right, the last one, I've just put it down as on my paper as squat walks. So I just basically, some things that I quite like to do to get into a session or to work quite hard is, again, I'm being quite creative here. There's no set way of doing it, but I'm just into a sort of squat position, and I'm just going to ease around in that squat position. Maybe I want to go walk around a little bit, maybe my arms out to one side, turn around, walk around the room. Okay, just really stretching those legs out into that squat position. Okay, so it's a bit of a free-for-all just to finish off. Last one, keep strong in your legs. Okay, move around as you feel like it works. Okay, side to side, around in a circle. Just stay in that position if you want. Off we go. Last 30 seconds or so. Just walking around in that position. Just ease into one side. Okay, and stop there. Right. Okay. I think that'll, how's that? Yeah, I think that'll probably do it.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, James. Ooh, that's
No,
fun. I
pleasure.
think you'll have a new nickname.
Yeah, I would suggest maybe a little bit of warming down if that's at all possible, just to not stop still, straight away, because that was hard, and just a little bit of movement just to ease back. But you know your bodies well, so but yeah. If anyone wants to ask anything about those things, or I'm here, so whatever you like.
Thanks, James.
Any questions? Pleasure.
Yeah. Now, you didn't repeat some of the workouts. Was that just because we were limited on time?
Say that again. I didn't what, sorry?
Yeah. You didn't repeat some of the exercises doing multiple sets. Was that just because you wanted to introduce us to different exercises?
I just think there are so many different ways of working, aren't there? I mean, I think, some sessions I will do, and I will just pick 2 exercises, and I will do that for 40 minutes. Okay. And some days, that's the last thing I want to do. I want to vary it, mix it up. I want it to be varied and not monotonous. Okay. So I'm just trying to choose what's right for the day and how I feel. I mean, you can work a million ways. I mean, we could do another workout tomorrow, and we could pick 5 exercises, do that for the whole 50 minutes, and stick to those 5. And we could do it, 20 seconds on and 1 minute off, super high intensity. Yeah. There's millions of ways of working. And obviously the more I change, obviously we've only got an hour, so I can't go through everything, but I'm just trying to give you, you might have found often I'll do a workout like this and I'll think, oh, I really like that exercise, or that suits me really well, or I think that could help me. So you might not have liked all the exercises, but I did want to show you quite a good range of things that I'm doing, just so rather than just, I could just pick 2 exercises and we could do those.
No, I was
for
perfect.
20 minutes, but I just think the variety's not there, is it? So
I really learned that the balancing ones were really good.
Yeah.
The hop
I mean, yeah, I think the balancing stuff I would recommend so highly, even if you're just standing on one leg sometimes, brushing teeth, or when you're watching TV, so valuable. You're building up ankle stability, glute strength, your proprioception, all this sort of thing. It's a massively, you know, there's so much balancing you could do, you know, one leg, bringing your leg up, lifting your arms high. You know, you could do millions of those things. So really good work for squash players. But yeah, I mean, it's just trying to, you know, and also I'm thinking I want you to try and train every available muscle, because every muscle gets worked on in squash. So I don't just want to do one exercise all the time. That, you know, you need to work your obliques, you need to work your shoulder blades, you need to work your core and twist and turn. So I tried to make all those things available to you, just so that you're getting I mean, today, whatever you've done, every muscle in your body will have probably just about worked. You know, that's not the same if you go for a run or if you go for a bike ride. They're great forms of exercise, you know, in many ways, but this is just getting every muscle worked properly in a good, solid, you know, slow motion. You know, we're not going too fast. We're not trying to kill ourselves. We're just trying to work properly and get into good positions.
2 questions, James. One, how often are you working out, and when do you think your next PSA tournament will be?
I mean, I'm obviously, I probably have, I mean, I just really enjoy working out. So, you know, I probably give myself at least a day where I don't work out, but I don't really, I think I enjoy the days more when I'm doing something. So even if on those days I just want to go for a walk, I just love exercise. So, but yeah, like today I did this workout this morning to practice, but also to give myself a workout. So that's 2 of those today. You know, but the last week or so I haven't been doing lots of strength work. I was more on the bike this week. The week before that was more strength work. But yeah, it'll be at least, there will be 2 sessions of some sort most days. But it's, you know, it's sensible work. It's not like I'm killing myself every session. You know, one session might be lighter, might be more mobility, stretching. The other session might be heavier on the legs. And it's all, you know, all geared to keep the body as strong as it can be, so that hopefully when I do play, the body's ready to be strong and the strength work is there. You know, for me, I think strength is so crucial. Everyone asks me about movement. How do you move? How do people move? Squash players move well. Well, I often think it comes first from the strength work that you're doing, because your muscles are more economical, they're stronger, they can take the lunging and the movements more. As to the other question, I haven't heard anything. I really don't know anyone on the inside who I've spoken to, and PSA, I don't know what's going on. And I mean, I can only assume that it's going to be very difficult for squash, because it's such a, you know, close contact game. And and then the traveling aspect is tough for PSA. I mean, that's going to be tough because travel. So I wouldn't say it's, but I don't know. Maybe they're looking at bringing in new formats, and also, I don't know. I just don't know anything. So just all we can do is keep plugging along a little bit. And
just know you've got a lot of fans here hoping you get back out on the court.
So kind. Thank you. Appreciate that. That's lovely. Missed Chicago this year. Missed coming.
When we do have you back in Chicago and you're playing, what are some of the things that you want the audience to shout out? And what are things that are useless for us to shout?
When we're playing the matches?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, you know, I think I'm like most players probably. I think we enjoy a warmer crowd, with more, the more shouting, the better. And you know, I think it's like, you know, do what you want. I mean, within reason. As if obviously if it's abusive, I think I object to, you know, abusive fan stuff from off the field. You know, like I would do in soccer or any sport. But other than that, shout what you want and make an atmosphere, because I think, you know, I think it's, you know, players want to play in an atmosphere, and I think they'd rather even the crowd were all against them than it'd be very quiet. So
how about any Yorkshire shout out?
Yeah. Oh yes, yeah. Yorkshire, yeah. Always up for that.
Are there any?
And I think, you know, the rules are obviously that I think players should be playing over any noise now. So even that isn't really an issue. Players have to get on with it. And I think in the past, you know, there was a bit of a noise issue. If people shouted when people were about to serve, that could be a bit tricky. But I think go for it, you know, make some noise, really.
How was playing over the noise at Union Station for the World Championship?
Yeah, no, I don't remember it being... it was just a good venue. It was, you know, as it always is. It was a fabulous place to play squash. And, you know, I don't have particularly fond memories of the match and the result that I played there. But it was, you know, the actual experience was great. And the venue and it always is. I love coming to Chicago, you know. It's just always been a very warm tournament.
Right. The weather is always cold when you come.
It is when we come, yeah. Bloody hell, it's freezing.
We had a good time with Malcolm when you guys were here. I think a lot of us got lessons, or you know, it was always a good time. I feel like both of you guys.
You said good. You said good. I'll have to record
Nice
that.
to
I'll have to record that because I don't think anyone's ever said that he's good. I mean, nasty, vicious. Takes the mickey out of everyone, but yeah. Oh no, he'll be very proud that you liked it.
How is he doing?
It's an experience anyway, working with him, isn't it? He's fine actually. Yeah, he's fine. I mean, he's been alone in the lockdown thing, but I think he's doing a lot of writing. So hopefully he'll have written a nice book for us when we get out. And he's fine. He's good. I think he keeps you know, on good spirits. He's quite good like that, yeah. So.
We've been on lockdown for a long time now, and so without squash, we're watching a lot of TV. Recently watching The Hour. Are there any shows that you're watching?
Yeah. Well, I just finished one yesterday that was about the Salisbury poisonings. I don't know whether you've heard about it, but it happened in England about 2 years ago where these people got poisoned with the Novichok or nerve gas. A fantastic 3-part drama that was, a British thing, BBC. And then I was just watching Succession. Has anyone seen Succession? Absolutely fantastic piece of TV. Yeah, so those are my two.
Okay.
That's American. I think that's made in America, Succession. What about yourself? The Hour was a few years ago, right?
Yeah, it's set in 1957 in London.
Yeah.
BBC.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, again, thank you so much, James. This was awesome. Like you can tell, all of us are very hungry to have squash in some format. So we love seeing you and hearing your story that, you know, squash is supposed to be fun and, you know, thoughtful. So we just appreciate you bringing us all together. And, you know, I mean, anybody who's still on, you know, it's always free every Sunday and to support Metro Squash so that we can give this great sport to the future generations. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.